Hi, here we are reporting on day 14 of our walk, but I got to confess this is actually day 15. As it turned out yesterday, we'd left Ledigos and we made our way to the 27 kilometers to Bercianos. It was very repetitive kind of landscape again. This is certainly the part of the Camino where it is that you get in touch with yourself and have really opportunity to talk more probably to God as we just walk through the sameness of the landscape. But that's a good thing. That's a very important aspect of Camino, isn't it? It's an aspect of life. You know, we're just in the main and plain of life, and it's there that we do seek to find God's blessing in special ways. So, leaving Ledigos yesterday, we walked through in immense fog. And that was quite exhilarating. It made for some good photographs, and the fog actually hung around for about 90 minutes as we passed past more golden maples or white poplars. I'm not sure what the variety of tree it is, and made our way through to two various towns, St. Nicholas and Bercianos. Now, when we came to Bercianos, it was a very interesting situation of little caves, little houses almost cut into the hill. No, not the hobbits. These in fact were Berdigos. The word is Berdigos. Sorry. Anyway, they are 500 years old, going right back to Roman times initially, however, where it is that wine was put in vats and brought to maturity in the warmth of the hills, I suppose. So these just little hobbit caves, as it were, very interesting. We continued on and made our way down to Sahagun. And as we came down there, we were diverted off the main road into Sahagun along one of the rivers and came to yet another beautiful Romanesque bridge, stone bridge, which led us over the river to a hermitage to Santa Maria. And there, in the yard of the hermitage, were two statues. One of Alphonsus VI, the Brave. He lived between 1065 and 1109. He was on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side was Bernardo de Ceridad, the Benedictine founder of the city of Sahagun. The Benedictine monks were absolutely foundational to the history of Spain and the establishment of Spain. Now, these two statues mark the halfway point of the Spanish walk from Roncesvalles, which is the first town within the Spanish border, to Santiago, about 360 kilometres, 370 kilometres, the halfway point. Matter of fact, in Saragon, you can go to a monastery and get a halfway certificate if you so wish. We didn't do that. But it was wonderful to walk through this gateway. It's very significant. These two historic figures, the Benedictine with holding a book called Ora et Labora, Prayer and Work. Isn't it interesting? This is a point to contemplate, that the word ora for prayer is encapsulated in the word labora for work. In other words, let our work emanate from prayer. That's just a thought to be thinking of. So on the one side was that, on the other side was Alphonsus VI, the defender of Spain, but the defender of the Camino. The Alphonses were very keen on creating a way for the pilgrims to walk to Santiago. And so there was the sixth there with his sword, just protecting the way for the pilgrims to go through. But the other significance of this particular gateway is that it was a gateway that opened Spain to Europe. And they were just very keen for the pilgrims to make their way down and through. So this gateway was symbolic of the opening of Spain to Europe and to the rest of the world. So we stopped for a brief meal, a shared platter of steak, chips and egg in Saragon, and then passed on to Bercianos, where it is Bercianos, where it is that we came last night. Now we didn't stop, as I said, because there was really nowhere spectacular, as indeed there's nowhere spectacular now to do our report. But as I said, that is life. Our reflection yesterday was again from St. Ignatius, and he was saying, you know, to get the most out of meditating on the scripture, it's a good practice to take a few minutes before you go to bed at night to work out what gospel you might, or what scripture you might meditate on the next day. To have a look through the readings of the Mass or whatever it is that you follow, to find the reading you're going to meditate on and to go, okay, right, and go to sleep with that thought and expectation. In the morning, get up and basically make your first thought, well, I'm going to sit down now for 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, however long you have, and I'm going to focus my eyes on the Lord, see his focus on me, and then in the light of that, read the scripture. That way there's kind of the whole night's sleep is encapsulated in the word, and might after time open the way for much deeper and better and restful sleep. Just a thought. Our scripture for meditation yesterday was on the birth of Christ, the Luke version of Jesus being born in the stable or the cave, and the shepherds being out in the fields. Hey, how appropriate, we're out in the fields here. And the angels coming and just speaking to them of the good news. It was just good to be able to spend some time meditating on the very thought that he who is eternal, who is just beyond words, majesty supreme, born into a little baby in that stable. And as we reflected yesterday, you know, the fact that he was born in that stable and had the shepherds come to visit him really brought him to the base point of life. Had he been born in a palace, had he been born in some royal throne room somewhere, then there would have been that sense of him being remote up there, and you know, can we really approach him? But how wonderful it is that being born in a stable with the even stench of the sheep and cattle food or whatever, and the visit of the shepherds who were the lower caste of society coming to greet him and welcome him. We too can come, whoever we are, greet him, welcome him, and love him. God bless you.